We've got a quick 30-minute workout for you. Make sure you've done your dynamic warm-up before you start. And our first exercise is a one-arm chest press. Now, this can be done with a band, which Dan is going to demonstrate right here, or it can be done with a dumbbell, which I'm going to demonstrate. The exercise is essentially the same, just using a different tool. So make sure you're keeping that 45-degree angle on your arm so you're not internally rotating. Core is tight. Whenever you're doing a one-sided exercise, your core has to work more, so that's why we do it. You also even out muscular imbalance. All right, let's begin. So squeezing the chest and shoulder muscle at the top of the movement. Be careful you're not letting your hand go past your body, and that is true whether you're doing the dumbbell version or the band version, either. So you don't let the hand go past your body. So nice and slow and controlled. Core is tight. Now I'm on the bench, so I'm gonna try not to fall off. How I do that is by keeping my core tight. Go ahead and switch sides. Now when you're upright standing like Dan is, now he could get twisted to the side if he didn't keep his core tight. So both of us are working chest, shoulders, and core muscles all at the same time. And we have 5 more seconds. And rest. Our next exercise is a one-arm row. Of course, Dan is going to stick with that band and he's going to be pulling just like that. I'm going to stick with the dumbbell, and the dumbbell version can be done again on a bench, and I'm straddling the bench right now, which means my core has to work more. I could, if I needed more support, put my knee up. If I did not have anything, I could absolutely just lean on my own body or on a wall or something like that. All right, so let's begin. Same thing here though, core is tight, especially if I'm doing a somewhat unsupported version like this when I'm bent over. If I don't keep my core tight, my lower back might get tired, fatigued, upset. So core tight, support your spine. And again, if I needed more support, I could put my knee up. Keeping neutral curves in the spine, that's true for both of us. Let's switch sides. So neutral curves, that means you've got a little bit of an inward curve in the lower back, a little tiny bit of an outward curve in the middle back, and once again, an inward curve of the neck. That is perfect postural alignment. That's how your body functions best. Driving the elbow back, keeping the chest lifting. Sometimes when we get tired, we get sloppy and start to round over. Don't let that happen. Rest. All right. Our next exercise is a calf raise. So if you have an elevated surface, Dan's going to use the step to do these. If you don't, that's okay too. You can just come onto your step or onto your floor and do it without any type of a elevated surface, which is fine. You just get a tiny bit more range of motion. If you have access to a step, then go ahead and take it. Dan's adding a little additional resistance. You could do that as well. Calves are actually pretty strong muscles. You'd be surprised how much you can actually lift with your calves. We use our calves every step we take, so they work a lot in our everyday life. We're doing 2 feet at a time this time. Next time we come around, we'll probably try it with one leg and see how that goes. And rest. Excellent. So we are going to do some clamshells. So we're going to put a little bit of resistance around our legs. If you happen to have resistance, go ahead and put it on right above the knees. If you don't, you are just fine. Just make sure that you are doing nice slow range of motion. I'll show you how you can actually add a little something to it as well. If you don't have a band, you could either use your own hand as some resistance, or I like to tell Dan, come on, it's just like putting on a pair of pantyhose and you know, he knows. I'm just kidding. He would not have any idea. These bands are kind of funny. So laying all the way down is one option. If that doesn't feel okay on your shoulder, you can come up on your forearm. Feet stay together, bend the knees, and you just go up and down. So go ahead and join us. Again, if you didn't have a band, you could use your own hand as a little bit of resistance on your thigh, or you could put a dumbbell, lay it on top of that thigh. So depending on how you're set up with this bottom arm, it will actually, the angle of your body change what part of your glute is working. So you might do some laying all the way down, and you might do some, again, up on that forearm. But if one or the other does not work for your shoulder, of course, do the one that's okay on your shoulder. And we'll rest and do the other side. So you gotta do the little butt spin. That's the important part. I'm just kidding. You guys can just roll over. We get to do the little booty spin. I was explaining to Dan today the importance of not sticking your rear end in the camera, but he doesn't see a problem with it. You guys think this stuff's easy. We got to exercise and make sure we aren't putting ourselves in weird positions in the camera. And again, you could play with what angle your body is in. 5 seconds and rest. Awesome job. All right, so we'll take that off. And again, Dan, just like taking off a pair of pantyhose, super easy. All right, so we have alternating trunk rotations, and I do have things set up at different levels, so it's kind of a choice you can make. If you want to do a lower setting, you can do a lower setting. Higher setting is also there. If for some reason you did not have bands, you would use a dumbbell and do what I call a dump the bucket. So I'll just demonstrate. If you're using the band at a lower setting, it almost ends up, again, like a dump the bucket, okay? Dan's at that middle setting, and he'll just come straight across the body. Now, again, I'm gonna show you, if you did not have a band, you would do, this is, I call dump the bucket because like you're dumping water over your shoulder. All right, so let's go. We'll all do our side to side trunk rotation. Begin. So if for some reason your back does not like this, you just do a shorter range of motion and not do the big rotation of the spine. So really listen to your body. Thanks. Five more seconds. That's probably a better order anyway. Rest. All right. So we are doing some bicep curls now. I don't usually do bicep curls because I don't know why. Your biceps are involved in all the rowing stuff. But Dan's going to use band or ball, whatever those things are, dumbbells, and he's going to do bicep curls, but he might add in a lunge or something like that. Now, I'm going to do bicep curls here with the band. You have 2 ways you can do it with the band. You can face away from your anchor. And again, mine's at the lower setting, but the middle setting is fine. And what I mean by the middle setting, like right around your waist level. Now I could do something like lunging forward on these. The other option is to face your anchor and do them this way. So you can kind of play with it. I'll let you know when you're halfway. Maybe you'll turn around. You, of course, could add a squat to these as well, which I would highly recommend. All right, so let's begin. So maybe you just do a basic curl. Dan's alternating. Dan could do a basic one. You could do alternating. Shoulders back, chest lifted. That's the important thing. And remember, we could add in something with the legs. But you know, honestly, if your legs are tired, maybe it's just a day to do a more basic version of this exercise. We're halfway. So if you want to try doing the opposite. Make sure on these your elbows stay high in line with your shoulder. So down here, I'm not doing much. When you face your anchor, your elbows need to stay a little higher. You get fatigued, you alternate arms. You want more, you could squat or double pulse. That's our time. All right, so we have back extensions. These can be done on the floor or on a ball. What would you like to do? Dan's gonna take the ball to the wall. And I'm gonna lay on the floor. We're both doing the same muscles, just in a slightly different way. So he'll put his feet up against the wall. His hands can be across his chest is easiest. Behind the head is the next level up. Reaching out would be the hardest. And I can do something similar. So right here is going to be easier, harder, hardest. All right, so let's begin. So maybe you try the easiest one first and see how your body does. Pull the pit of the belly in on these and think of lifting from the back of the head. I am not trying to arch my lower back. I'm gonna say that again. I am not trying to bend my lower back. I'm actually lifting off the floor and thinking of length as long as I can get my spine, and I'm lifting from the back of my head or the middle of my back towards the ceiling. Kind of like when we do crunches and we're not trying to round into a flexion over and over. Same thing here. We're not trying to come into huge back extension over and over again. And rest. All right. Good job. Rinse and repeat. What I mean by that is grab that single dumbbell or that single band. We are back to our one arm chest press. Now, of course, Dan, using the band, could do all kinds of stuff. He could lunge into it if he wanted to. Doesn't have to, but he could. Maybe he'll just demo what that would look like real quick with just one. So it's just one side would go. Yeah, so that's what that would look like. You could also add a squat and a press. I mean, there's so many options, right? So just be smart about your choice, but also challenge yourself. Now I could add a little more core work by taking my feet up on this one. I'm gonna keep my core tight. Go ahead and begin, otherwise I might fall off the bench, and that would make a great blooper video, but let's hopefully not do that. And other side. Rest. All right. One arm row. So of course on these, you could add a squat and a pull. You could double pulse. That's what Dan could do if he wanted to, maybe a quick demo of that. And you could double pulse those. Also, now if Dan doesn't want to keep doing the squats, he doesn't have to. All right, let's begin. And I could double pulse these as well. Maybe it wasn't challenging enough for me doing the single rep. Pulling our tummy muscles in super tight. Squeezing the shoulder blade across the spine. So we're worrying less about where the hand goes. So go ahead and switch sides. I don't care if my hand comes way up here. What matters is if my elbow drives straight back and my shoulder blade starts to squeeze across my spine. So even if my hand only comes up to here, that's fine as long as I'm squeezing my shoulder blade. Sometimes we start doing weird stuff with the wrist because we're really trying to get the weight up there, and then we're not even working the right muscles when we do that. All right, let's rest. We're back to our calf raises, and just for fun, maybe we will do single leg this time. And you can absolutely add some weight to that, just like we did last time. So holding a weight in whatever hand is not holding on, and just going up and down from there. Go ahead and begin. Now I'll let you know when you're halfway so you can switch, but if you want to just stay on 2 feet, then you just stay on the 2 feet, and that's fine. So listen to your body. What do you need today? If you need a more challenge, try one leg. It's significantly harder on one leg than 2 legs. Switch sides. Rest. All right, we're back to our clam shell. So here we go. Sometimes the hardest part is getting these things on and off, honestly.
I've been running and it's so stiff right now.
All right, so I'm going to show you one other option on these, and this is definitely the most challenging. So if you don't have any weight or resistance, so no dumbbell to weigh you down, no band to add, maybe try this version. So go ahead and start. Maybe you're up in a side plank and then moving the legs. Go ahead and begin. So try it. If that's too much, just come back to a basic version. So my obliques on this side get to work really hard, and both hips are working harder because there's more stabilizing going on with that bottom leg than would have been happening if it was laying on the ground. Definitely a harder version, so if it's too much, you just come right back to something a little bit simpler, easier, or more accessible to you. 5 more seconds on this side. Rest and switch. Do the booty spin maybe, or just flip over. And just a reminder, if you don't have any added resistance, go ahead and begin. Maybe put a dumbbell on your leg. I just added 8 pounds of resistance right here. That's really hard with both, so I'm gonna put that down. I'll show you this one again. I'm up on my elbow and my hip is off the ground. A lot harder. And rest. Excellent. All righty. So we'll go that same order we went last time. We'll go ahead and do the alternating trunk rotations. Option to do with the band or with your dumbbell or kettlebell or medicine ball. All right, let's begin. Pull the pit of the belly in tight. Try not to lean backwards. Just rotate the body. Or again, maybe you don't rotate. Your back doesn't like it. 5 seconds. Rest. Okie doke. Bicep curls. Option to add things, lunge or curl, or maybe you don't. One other option, if you're too tired to lunge into something, you could do one leg. Working your balance is another great thing to try. All right, let's go ahead and go. I'm gonna stand on one leg and do these this way, facing the anchor. I'm gonna do some like that. Spend a few on one leg and then I'll try the other leg. My elbows are up, pretty much in line with my shoulders. I'm gonna turn around, do some away from my anchor. And again, I'm on one leg. Sam's doing those lunges. We're almost there. 5 more seconds. Rest. All right, we have back extensions on the ball if you have one, or on the floor if you do not. And again, I'm gonna say this probably every time we do these, I am not trying to bend my body in half. I'm thinking, how long can I get my spine? Lifting from the back of the head. All right, pull the pit of the belly in, and then this is the most basic version. If you're on the ball, you could go hands across the chest, hands behind the head, or arms reaching out would be the most challenging version. Range of motion is small. And if it doesn't feel good to go up and down, maybe you just hold. Sometime an isometric hold is a better choice. 5 seconds. Rest. All right. Ready for your last round? Yes. We are. All right. One arm chest press. Last time. Band or dumbbell. Or if you really, really want to, you could do a one arm push up instead. Good luck with that. I'm sure some of you could do it. All right, here we go. Begin. Too easy, you could double pulse on these. Now be careful if you're on the bench, don't fall off. I'm talking to myself mostly. If you're on the floor, you might try a bridge, or even if you're on the bench. If you have enough room for your feet to lift up into a bridge, you could do that. You get a little more booty work, a little more glute work. Switch sides. I could get crazy and go one leg up. Of course, I got to do the other leg. Try not to fall off. Please be careful if you're on a bench doing this. 5 more seconds. Rest. One arm row, last time. All right, here we go. And just a reminder, if you don't have a bench, no worries. Begin. Use your own body weight. Or you can just lean on a chair or something. Pull the core in. I'm double pulsing, giving myself a little more. I know it's my last time, so I want to get all I can out of this last set. But I'm only going to make it harder if I need it to be harder. If it's hard enough doing regular ones, do regular ones. Rest. Other side. Five more seconds. Time. Calf raises one more time. And again, option, single leg, option, add some resistance. You have a step, you can use that. If you don't, that's okay. You can still do these. Let's begin. Switch sides. And rest. Excellent. So again, if you don't have any resistance, maybe Dan wants to try a dumbbell on his leg this time instead of putting on his pantyhose.
Oh, yeah.
You can use that guy? All right. So again, if you don't have a band like this to put around your leg, you just weigh yourself down that top leg with a dumbbell. So it definitely works better on the forearm. Okay, let's begin. Just weigh it down with a little weight. Remember, you could come up on that elbow and do a side plank at the same time. Or not. And let's do the other side. Here we go. Great for knees, great for hips, great for back strength, these clamshells. And rest. All right. Alternating trunk rotations one more time. So I am going to actually, you have that option to use that band. So I'm actually going to go ahead and join Dan with a band this time. Remember, you could use the dumbbell. And so I'm going to join Dan so I can show you how you can actually turn this into a little bit more dynamic. You can actually step into the rotation. So I'm swinging about this way, and then I'm swinging about that way. Just a little bit more dynamic, take it or leave it. Go ahead and begin. Now again, remember, you could just do your basic version, or you could get that heart rate up a little bit more by alternating directions and stepping into it. You could also get super crazy and shuffle it.
That's crazy.
That's super crazy. I'm crazy like that. That's why he married me.
Super crazy.
And we rest. One more set of bicep curls. Last set of these. Oh, we're getting close to the end, guys. 2 more exercises. Bicep curls, back extensions, then you're done. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and turn away from my anchor to start and go ahead and begin. So again, options could be to lunge or not. You could do a squat and a curl. You could do one-legged. You could face your anchor if you're using the band. Same option, squat, lunge, one-legged. Alternating arms if you get tired, double pulse if you need more. Rest. Back extensions, last time. I think you guys are gonna make it. All righty. So remember your options on these. And I'm gonna give you one more. So on the ball or on the floor. Alternate, working a little bit of the quadratus lumborum on one side at a time. So that could be done here, it can be done here, it could be done here, and you'll alternate sides. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, just go your basic version. Let's begin. So I'm gonna rotate at the top, come straight down through the middle, rotate at the top, the opposite direction, straight down. You could do some of each. Maybe you actually do some straight up and down, and then do some rotating. If your lower back starts to spasm in any way, you just take a break, start again when you can, or do an easier version. You can even take arms by your sides. That's even more basic. Or a little support with your hands. Don't be afraid to be supported by something that you need. Still working. 5 more seconds, even if you have your hands down and just a light assist. And we rest. All right, my friends, we are done. So just like all of our 30-minute workouts, you're in charge of your warm-up, you're in charge of your cool down and stretch. Please don't forget those parts. Go ahead and do that now. Thank you guys. Have a really awesome day. Bye.